here it is, the cover of Chicago Magazine. Rahm on the cover. You're 5 months into your term, and there's no question that the economy is a big reality that you face. How tough is the national economy being in such distress is it for you here in Chicago?
Well, there's no doubt in people's lives it's difficult. We have a foreclosure issue. We also have a unemployment issue. And even for those who are working, they're on the razor's edge, as it means their paycheck going from the beginning of the month to the end of the month and trying to make it stretch all the way through. That's why, as mayor, I've been focused on what I think are the three fundamentals: safe streets, strong schools, stable finances. And if we put that in order, I think people have confidence to invest in the city and create jobs, which is why GE's adding 1,000 jobs, United Airlines adding 1,300 jobs here, and just this week, Ford made an announcement, if there's a ratification, they're going to put 1,200 jobs in a plant here in the city of Chicago.
Your unemployment rate in Chicago is higher than the national average. Let's look at the national average. New jobs numbers that came out this week over the term of the Obama presidency going back to February 09. And you can see on the screen the trajectory at 8.2%. The high point, of course, October of 2009, up over 10%. And now it's been distressingly steady here at 9.0 or 9.1%.
Yeah.
Are there government remedies that are left to really solve this?
Sure. Let me take one step back and take a look, a wide lens view, and then come right down. Basically, about every 6 or 7 years, the American economy reinvents itself with a single engine. That was what NASA was for invention. There was a military buildup in the 80s, the internet and the new economy in the 90s, housing in 2000. I believe, if you take a look at the data, rebuilding our infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our broadband for the new economy is essential as that single engine. While you have a high unemployment, the 9% you noted, among building trades, the carpenters, iron workers, the building trades that used to be in the housing industry and in the office building construction, it's double that. Have them rebuild our schools. Have them rebuild our roads, because we have a 21st century economy sitting on a 20th century infrastructure. And that should be the reinvention engine, like NASA was, like the internet was at different moments in time, and we will be a stronger, more productive economy for that rebuilding of America.
You had that opportunity for stimulus in the middle of the financial crisis when you were in Washington as chief of staff. There were political concerns about how big of a stimulus package you could get through. What you're
noticed that, huh?
Yeah. But what you're talking about now no longer enjoys political consensus.
Oh, I don't.
Do you think this president wasted it, the crisis you talked about, to do the big things at that moment, to really be a jobs president, to create the demand in the economy that you're talking about through more government spending?
Well, first of all, it's a stimulus for the economy. And everybody, you'll have other people on here, everybody has roads and bridges and stuff in their neighborhood and their community in Chicago. Take our mass transit. We're about $7 billion behind on our public transportation capital. Our water system, about 75% of it, the water pipes, 100 years or older. But that's an example throughout the country, number one. Number two, there's also a piece the president did do. He inherited an economy that was spinning towards a depression. He had a financial situation that had frozen up to the point that it was near collapse, and an auto industry that was on the doorstep of bankruptcy. Now, one of the capacities now, because he took the tough decisions, the right decisions, we're actually importing, as the Wall Street Journal noted this week, importing auto jobs to the United States, because finally the auto industry restructured itself. We're at the point, having stabilized the situation, now what's the liftoff? And I believe the investment in rebuilding America is exactly that. It's good for the economy today, and it will be good for the economy long term. Was there opportunities? He took the opportunity to deal with all three within the first 6 months. We're now importing auto jobs where before it was near the bankruptcy. And I would also argue, not to get too political too fast, but I can't miss the opportunity, which is some people in the Republican Party wrote stories and wrote op-eds saying, let it go bankrupt. The President of the United States doubled down on the American workers. Auto industry not only is stronger, not only creating the jobs today, he negotiated 2 fuel efficiency standards that were denied for 30 years, and now the United States went from 2% to 40% of the alternative battery production. At every level, the auto industry that was first started here in the United States is stronger and better and more prepared for the future than it was when he was in office. And 1.2 million manufacturing jobs, the manufacturing base of America, is stronger. Now, that's not enough, and he'll be the first to admit it. And the next step rebuild America from the ground up for the 21st century.